So in this video, we're going to be taking a close look at Jonathan Audie, the guy who claims that he was Cassie as well as P. Diddy's slave. That's what he said back in 2018 when he was interrogated by the cops. Obviously, the cops didn't stop him and question him or arrest him for that. He shot up Trump's hotel. Well, he had a shootout with the cops. Well, they call it a kind of a shootout anyway, because he pulled a pistol. And when you pull your pistol, guess what's going to happen? The cops are going to respond. In any event, the guy is from South Africa. So when he was being questioned, interrogated, he mentioned Sean Diddy Combs, he mentioned Rick Ross, he mentioned DJ Khaled. He said all of those guys are homosexuals, honey. This was back in 2018. And what's so striking is that the stuff that he mentioned during the interrogation came out this year in 2023 with Cassie's lawsuit. So you're talking a big time difference here. And he was able to come out with all these receipts way back then. So as the story goes, he said all these outrageous things about P. Diddy. Well, people thought it was outrageous at the time until Cassie came out with her lawsuit and everything seems to be matching up. He said he was an slave to Diddy and his ex-girlfriend Cassie. And he further claimed that Diddy was also part of the Illuminati. But he said this Illuminati is for black folks. Well, I guess there's segregation in everything. Go figure. Even the Illuminati, okay? So Jonathan Audie went to Trump's hotel down there in Florida and pulled out a pistol, shot the pistol up in the ceiling. Cops were called. He draped the flag all over the front desk, had people running for cover, running for their lives. And I think he had a mental breakdown. He had a psychotic break. Maybe he's on some type of meds that he didn't take, or maybe he needs to be diagnosed. But whatever the situation, cops were called. According to the Miami Herald, he shot up in the ceiling. I don't know how many times he shot up in the ceiling, but we know he didn't shoot at cops, because if he had shot at the cops, he wouldn't have been here today to tell the tale. So he was ranting about Barack Obama, the ex-president Trump, as well as P. Diddy. Jonathan Audie was born in South Africa, who became an American citizen back in 2017. He was a real estate investor and a fitness instructor. I don't know what happened. What happened, Jonathan? You let yourself go, buddy. You were a fitness instructor back in 2017, and this is 2023. That's not too long ago. And you look like if you're the blob, okay? You ready for a whole new makeover. You ready for tummy tuck. You ready for the Brazilian butt lift, cheek implant, everything, honey, because you're just falling apart. You look like one big blob, I hate to say. Whew, child, fitness instructor. That was just for the money. That wasn't his lifestyle. Clearly, one too many donuts. Anywho. But I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It all depends on who is beholding him. Maybe the person he's going out with currently sees him as Adonis. Hey, everybody thought he was just, a crazy guy in the lobby just talking junk when he got arrested. But it looks like if he was onto something, or if he was outing Diddy. It looked like if he was outing him at the time, but nobody listened. Besides being a fitness instructor, he was also a general manager. He was a manager of Pegasus, okay? And the Miami Herald reported that the South African native was married to a lawyer but got divorced amicably back in 2014. So he must have went off the deep end, folks. No sane person go to break into a resort. You're going to have a showdown with the cops where you're going to pull a pistol. So I'm thinking he had a death wish or a mental break. You know, guys, sometimes people do that. When they want to be dead, they will deliberately confront or have a confrontation with the cops so the cops can unalive them because they're too chicken to do it for themselves. So maybe it was one of those situations. So I'm looking at his situation. Why did he go off the deep end? He became a citizen back in 2017. We all know you got to be here at least 5 years before you can even apply. So he must have been here a good 5 years prior to becoming a citizen. And then in next year, became a citizen in 2017. 2018, he was involved in the pornography business. That's how the Miami Herald reported it, but maybe he was involved in that business before. 2018, he's shooting up the place. His marriage did not work out, so he was going through, or must have been through a divorce, or must have been going through one at a time. I'm sure he didn't tell everything to the cops. He left some things out, I'm sure. I'm wondering now if he did that male escorting business back in South Africa. Because sometimes people come to America or wherever it is they're traveling to, whichever foreign land, and they do whatever it is they know best. Maybe he was an escort back in South Africa. When he came to America, he picked up where he left off. It's unclear. I didn't read anything about it. I'm just wondering. So he went to the hotel down there in Florida, Mr. Trump's hotel, and he scared the folks so much they were running for cover, like if Columbine was just about to take place in the hotel. And he grabbed the American flag and laid it all over the desk. Now, you see somebody doing that in a hotel, putting the American flag all over the front desk. You got to say that person is crazy. I better get the hell up out of here. That's what folks did. I don't know what he was thinking. I really don't. And then when he got arrested, he's ranting and raving about P. Diddy. Like if P. Diddy guy had anything to do with this shootout that he had with the cops. Not potential. It was a potential. Okay? It wasn't a full-fledged shootout. Okay? It was potential. Anywho, it wasn't like a showdown with a Wild Wild West. It wasn't like that. But I'm sure the employees were scared because he ran from the front desk, he ran through the lobby, he was trying to escape to the back, and the cops were on his heel. He ran down a flight of steps, there was the cops, he ran back, he kept running through the lobby, trying to escape the cops and evade the cops, and the cops were on his heels. And eventually, they caught up with him. And after catching up with him, after he was trying his best to get away, they finally shot him in the leg. He goes down because he couldn't run anymore. They apprehended him right there in that photo. They jumped on him, put him into custody. I could not help thinking about the poor employees. They must have been terrified because we hear about Columbine and those type of places all the time. And these employees must have been scared, especially since the SWAT team was hovering over the building. And then this crazy gunman had a pistol, waving a pistol, running all over the place, draping the front lobby with the American flag. They didn't know what was going to happen. I have a little clip of the helicopter SWAT just hovering over the building. Let's take a listen.
There are 3 officers that correspond to the west side of the building. 3 officers to the west side of the building. Being advised there is only one subject. We have the one subject of the 1503. Metro 100 reference side. They did advise it was just one subject. Also on units use caution. We have a K9 and route reference secondary device. And you are safe. Just out on units use caution. One subject, possible second device.
So pretty much the operator was telling the cops where their subject was, how many people they were with the guns, and just trying to coordinate when the cops go into the building where to find the perpetrator. So he got divorced back in 2014. However, there was more to Jonathan that meets the eye. Okay? Because Mr. Jonathan Oddie was, yes, a stripper. Okay, I guess he can't do much stripping now because too much blob and fat is going to be just falling out of places that he don't want it to fall out. He was a stripper, honey, back in the day, and a pornographic actor. So he not only strip, honey, he got into those S films. All right? He got into the pornographic acting business. He was Mr. Long Dong, okay? Oh, and he did that for the South Florida-based website, Dancing Bear. I'm telling you, this man is full of surprises. He got to write a book. So the website created and distributed videos of parties that showcased women performing the sexual acts with strippers. According to his later testimony, Oddie was also an escort. Oh my Lord, Jonathan Oddie, honey, you got to write a book. You got a whole lot of stuff that you got to write in your resume, and it's very, very frilly and tantalizing, okay? America first heard about Mr. Jonathan Oddie in 2018 when he broke into the Trump National Doral Hotel in South Florida, a building owned by former President Donald Trump. So the arrest report was obtained by the Miami Herald, and it detailed that the man stole an American flag and draped it all over the receptionist's desk in the main lobby of the hotel. And his antics did not stop there. Oh no, not for Mr. Fluffy and frilly Jonathan. Oh, he got to go the extra mile, honey. Oh, he got to go the extra mile. So as he swung out his pistol, oh yes, he got to pull out the pistol like if he was in the Wild Wild West. So he brought out the pistol and he threatened a security guard who wasn't armed at all. And he began trashing the entire lobby. Well, what did he think it was going to happen if he started to do that? Not only did he pull out the pistol like if he was down there in the Wild Wild West on the OK Corral, but he started to trash, of all people, Donald Trump. And you know, Donald Trump, people don't play that. Because Donald Trump don't play that. Because he think he's a little mafioso, okay? He think he's the godfather. So he hired people who were just like him, who don't play that. So what did they do, honey? When this man started to trash the entire lobby, including the paintings, oh, the paintings were worth a fortune, and he trashing the paintings, the furniture, breaking glass, computers, among other things. So he really went into a rampage. I'm thinking maybe he had a psychotic break. What about you guys? What do you all think? Drop it in the comment section. No sane person does all this ish. So the cops say additionally, Jonathan Oddie started to spew rhetoric against Donald Trump. I guess that's why he was trashing the lobby, because he was mad at Donald Trump for something. You know, people stay mad at Donald Trump, so I'm not surprised at that. And then he started to spew ish about former President Barack Obama. It surprised me. I said, not my Barack. Oh, no. Barack don't hurt nobody. He don't say not a bad word about nobody. He just did his little job in the White House, signing of different documents and stuff. But he was out. Now, what in the world he got against Barack? Oh, no. Say it ain't so. So in any event, after he was done talking ish about Donald Trump, Barack Obama, then he started to talk ish about Diddy, honey. That's when everybody's ears perked up because of what he was saying about Diddy. And after he was done talking ish about Diddy, he shot the gun into the ceiling. Well, that's dangerous because there could have been somebody on that floor above him, and he could have inadvertently shot the person. So, of course, when the cops came, guns drawn, that wasn't a surprise. And he shot at the ceiling, and there were cops on the scene at the time. So the cops rushed him and shot at him. They shot him in the leg. So eventually they caught him. So he must have been running. So they shot him in the leg. So he was taken to the hospital. He was hospitalized for his wounds because they shot him in the leg, but no telling what else they did to him. They probably gave him a few left hook, right hook, center hook, uppercut. I'm saying wounds with an S because the cops are not going to let him go without some upper, right, left, middle cuts. They probably did a few jabs. So when they were done with him, doing their elbow and their knee and fist of fury on him, he probably had a couple of wounds, some black eyes and busted lips, and so he was treated for his wounds. So I'm sure by the time he got to the hospital, he had some bruising, from the manhandling. I'm going to call it manhandling because they didn't say the cops beat him up, but we know how the cops get down, okay? So since that day of the interrogation, I'm sure the police officers were wondering about these allegations, if they were true. So we know where they came from. A lot of people were saying, well, how come he accused Diddy of all these things without proof? There is proof now. Cassie came out this year and she made certain allegations that this guy made way back in 2017. What's really good, he says he has a video. Exactly what Jonathan Audie said back in 2017. So in the midst of Cassie filing her lawsuit and these other three women against Diddy, this particular video of Audie resurfaced. So Audie said he had about 15 freak-offs with Diddy and Cassie. And these allegations weren't relative back then, but it's now relevant because we all can tie it in a nice bow and put a knot, okay? Everything is relevant now because Cassie said exactly what this man said. Then, because nobody came out and said anything about FOs or these freak-offs or anything. But since Cassie said it, people went back to this 2018 video and they kind of matched up what he said and what Cassie said, and it matched up perfectly. 6 years ago, he said exactly what Cassie said this year. So it got to be true. People thought he was lying back then. We know he was not lying because when Cassie said the same thing, Diddy hurried up and settled out of court with her within 24 hours. So during the interrogation, Jonathan Audie claimed that he had a reoccurring SUL relationship with Diddy and Cassie. So he mentioned that he had such encounters with the duo 15 times. Well, I guess who is counting? How many people have encounters and they say, okay, this is encounter number 1, encounter number 2? He must have been counting, honey, because he said 15 times. He didn't say 15, maybe 15, maybe between 15 and 19. No, he said 15 times. So he was counting. So he even went as far as to call himself the slave. Oh, he didn't have no pleasure because he felt like the slave. I guess they were calling him so often that he felt like if he was a slave to it. My goodness. Well, I guess he must have been getting some good money to be going back and back and back and back again every time. 15 times, that's a lot of times. I wonder the span of time. Was it like 15 times in 2 weeks, 15 times in a week, 15 times in a month? I wonder that how many intervals in opposed to how many weeks. Because if it was 15 times in 2 weeks or a week, I would see him feeling like a slave to it. But if it was 15 times in like a year, that's just occasional. That's not like, that's not a slave thing. So this Audie guy is quite interesting. So Audie also alleged that all those encounters were filmed. Diddy liked to film stuff. That's another thing we learned from Cassie. Everything he had to put on camera. So his encounters with Diddy and Cassie were filmed, he said, and that he had one of those tapes That's a rewind and come again moment. That's a bombshell. Woo! Bombshell. Oh, I didn't see that one coming. He said he got one of the tapes. He also name-dropped Diddy's attorneys and claimed that Combs was a part of the Bolay. That's the Black Illuminati folks. I didn't know there was segregation in the Illuminati also. Or maybe it's a matter of choice. You know, some black folks like to do their own thing. They don't like to mix and mingle with other folks. But he claimed, you know, he's part of the Black Illuminati. I said, damn. I mean, this racism stuff goes a long way, doesn't it? Even the Illuminati. Child, I guess. So he said a black part of the Illuminati. He also alleged that he received a huge sum, a lump sum money from Diddy to keep quiet. Diddy said, don't you dare say nothing. I'm going to give you this money. Keep quiet. So now I'm wondering if he signed an NDA, because if he signed an NDA and he talking, Diddy's going to come after him in a lawsuit. But then again, if Diddy comes after him in a lawsuit, I think that's what he's hoping for, because then he can show that tape. That tape can be in the court, and the judge can listen to the tape, and the jurors and everybody else. Lord have mercy. Diddy, I don't know how you're going to get rid. I don't know how you're going to get out of all this mess, honey. This man said he got a tape, all right? So Jonathan's story is now matching up with Cassie's allegations. In her, as we know, Cassie settled her lawsuit with Diddy within 24 hours of her coming out with her story. So Diddy likes to settle these things quickly because he got a whole lot of skeletons in his closet. And I'm wondering how many other people he settled with quietly, because Jonathan Oddy's story did not go to court because Diddy settled quietly. I'm wondering how many other people he settled quietly with. That's what I'm wondering. Woo! This rabbit hole goes way deep, deeper than I thought. So, in Cassie's lawsuit, she alleged, of course, as we know, that she engaged in acts with male prostitutes at Sean Diddy's behest. And then he would get off by watching and directing the show. He should have been a movie director of these adult films, because that's what he loved. Cassie also claimed that Diddy got off and filmed all of these encounters. So Diddy got a lot of videos. He probably started to destroy them, because anytime the cops and the feds are onto you, you start destroying stuff. But let me tell you, he can't destroy all of them, because Adi says he got a video. And I think that's why he settled with Adi back in 2017, because Adi got that video. And he probably made a couple of copies, because usually if you got a video, you just don't have the one video for safety measures. You make copies of that video and you send one to your lawyer. You put one in a safety deposit box. You keep one just to have your backup in case Diddy's folks go to his house and get the tape and beat him up and try to silence him. At least his lawyer got a copy. So if they decide to do away with him, I guess he probably told his lawyer, release this envelope. Look in this envelope that I'm giving you. If I should come up dead, don't open it otherwise. But if I should come up dead, you open this envelope and you take it to the cops. A lot of people do that. This is all alleged, because I don't know for sure. So P. Diddy probably figured, no, I can't touch him because, I touch him and I open up that Pandora's box and I may be sharing a jail cell with R. Kelly and Suge Knight. So then he started to make some other claims while he was being interrogated. And like I said before, they didn't think it was serious because the cops had never heard about such a thing. They had no proof. But he just continued talking. So he continued to say a plethora of astonishing claims, right? And another claim he made was that Diddy was using private planes to traffic drugs under the guise of his Ciroc vodka. He also claimed, and I said Ciroc vodka, where is he putting the drugs inside the vodka bottles? Man, I'm telling you, this is something else. I guess from when he made the allegation back in 2017, Diddy had to switch up allegedly how he transported his drugs. It was no longer by Ciroc bottles, because if this man was doing that and Jonathan outed him, well, he couldn't continue to do that anymore. He had to change his mode of transportation or the way he transported his drugs. I said, Lord have mercy. This Jonathan Adi, woo, he spelled a whole lot 6 years ago and nobody paid attention because people thought he was a madman. So he also claimed that Rick Ross and DJ Khaled were gay, along with P. Diddy. And he said Khaled supports Hamas and that Jimi Hendrix was alive in Cuba. I guess Jimi Hendrix is alive in Cuba like Tupac, because he said somebody said Tupac was alive also. I think he said it. I'm telling you, there's so many conspiracy theories, and so many people believe that these people are still alive. So let's listen to the interrogation of Jonathan Adi once again.
Okay, they're gay. Who? Both Diddy and Ross and Kevin, Rick Ross and Diddy and Ross, which are good buddies. Okay, they're gay. Who? Both Diddy and Ross and Kevin. They're all gay. DJ Kelly, Rick Ross, and Diddy? Yeah. They're all gay? Yeah. Gotcha. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he was masturbating, telling me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot. What about hidden in plain sight? It's hidden. I think I see what you're saying. Okay, how do I know this? Yeah, that's what I want to know. How do you know this? Do you know Sean Combs? Okay. Yeah. Diddy, whatever you call himself. Yeah. Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati. Okay. It's the black people. I'm from Africa, so I'm not racist. I had settlement with Sean, okay? And he belongs to that agenda. That's why he's so famous. They land all the contracts. It's his attorneys, which are Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes. Ben Mercedes worked for Bad Boy Entertainment for 4 years and worked for Hillary Rodman for 5, okay? When I take Sean the threat of death on me, okay? I don't have it, but I can make it available under secrecy. That means that I wouldn't be liable because I don't want to be getting blamed for anything, okay? I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate, telling me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because when they would do it, Sean talks a lot on the phone and on TV with speaking and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I seen for herpes and won. But they didn't. Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible, I threw everything out, it's possible I can produce a copy. Gotcha. It's possible, I'm not sure. Now, I'm 42, I've been through all my life, I've had a great life, I've settled $4.125 million with Diddy.
What did he say? He settled for $4.125 million with Diddy? I guess Diddy is going around making a lot of people millionaires. That's a lot of millions. 4 mil?
Okay, but he's scared. I was exposed. I don't want to talk about Diddy right now. I want to talk about Diddy and Ross, which are good buddies. Okay, they're gay. Both.
On that note, guys, I'm over and out. This was quite a bombshell interview. I will see you guys on the next one. Don't forget to hit the like bell before you leave if you haven't done so in the beginning. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as yet. I thank you. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching.